Yo, GM. See a couple people in the chat. Can see we've got people joining us for the live stream. Can everyone let me know if you can hear me clearly? The volume is good. Let me know. And we'll get this stream underway. Woo! The trenches are hot right now. Trenches are hot right now. Loud and clear, says Neo. NP says in the mood for ambiance. All good, says Hermit. What is good, everybody? We got that rate cut from JPow, giving us that bullish hopium in the markets. 3 hours of stream, still streaming. Mad respect, fam. My buddy Musashi. Yeah, I didn't get much sleep last night. Got 3 hours of sleep. We're definitely feeling like we're in that no sleep season. Trenches are hot. Market is cooking up. Been working on some things in the background as well. But let's get a few things out of the way first before we dive into all that. I see the streaming platform I'm using has a new feature where now my thing in the middle is in a circle. That's kind of cool. I dig that. Let's see who's in the chat. We got in the mood for ambiance, says GM market is back. It certainly feels that way, doesn't it? Also me waiting for the bull run to come. I think it's on our doorsteps. I don't think we've seen anything yet. I don't know that we're out of the clear just yet, but we're certainly feeling a lot more bullish than we did a week ago. Ain't that the truth? Got my good friend Hermit. Hermit's been here pretty much for every stream. Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you for coming out. Mr. Genghis. Rat Division says GM. Good to see you too, buddy. Been here quite often through most of these streams. Let's see who else we got here. Well, that's what I got in the chat so far, but I see there's 10 people joining us for the stream so far. I'm sure people will trickle in. Well, let's start off with, I want to thank you all for joining me at Astrology for Men. I am 0xRapture. Well, I'll chart any shitcoin with a pulse. For real though, as long as it's got discernible market structure, I can plot that shit out for you. Feeling energized today. I don't know about you guys, but the market's got me feeling nice. And it's been like a good slow bubbling up too. It's not like everyone was like just peak euphoria. It's like we've been waiting for this for a while. So like, let's enjoy this moment. Want to remind everyone that this show is brought to you by The Daily Edge. See if I can power. Here we go. Reminder to go to thedailyedge.com/subscribe, where we are your daily newsletter and growing media outlet, where we've got, these live streams. We've got our telegrams. I'm going to be branching out to do more varied types of shows and more content. But we are your daily newsletter where we deliver actionable insights, intel, and knowledge directly to your inbox, free of charge, written by the one and only legendary on-chain wizard, the brain behind Chain Edge as well. And Daily Edge is essentially a look back at the previous day of the crypto markets, more focused towards on-chain, although there is a little bit of intel in there for sex perps. But it essentially distills the previous day down into a quick 5-minute read email, so you can get caught up to speed on everything that took place and everywhere where your focus or attention should be and where the money is flowing on chain. We're also brought to you by Chain Edge, chainedge.io, where we track the top 0.01% of on-chain DEX wallets by profitability. We monitor real-time flows, aggregate that all into a beautiful interface, and it's all occurring in real time. You can track portfolio holdings. We just rolled out a new set of alerts based off of portfolio holdings data, which is something that's been being cooked up for a while that everyone's been excited to receive. Just yesterday alone, after the alerts were rolled out, 2 came in. Now, the whole point of these alerts is they're going to be less frequent because they're based off of a holdings threshold for tokens sub 5 days old. And just yesterday alone, we got an alert for the very first one yesterday was for XMW. Market cap at time of the alert was around 3 million and change. Current market cap on that token, 6.8 million. And it reached a high of just shy of 9 million not that long ago. That was the very first alert that you could have taken actionable trade off of. And then after that, shortly after that, also yesterday, we got an alert for Misha, which is Vitalik's dog, if you guys have been paying attention to the market. That one came in sub 4 million. And what did Misha end up hitting? Let's take a look. Misha ended up hitting 12 million. Again, these are not supposed to fire off frequently, this particular alert. It's based around holdings data. And when a new token hits that magical threshold of 100K dollar-wise balance holding of a particular token, especially on new tokens, those tend to do well. We've done this through backtesting and monitoring. It was a cook-up from On-Chain Wizard as he was monitoring his tooling that he's built and noticed that there was a magical threshold that would occur. Now, they're not always going to be bangers, but that's 2. From the very first day, we launched the alert, the only 2 that pinged yesterday that went on to produce X's. So a little bit of shameless self-plugs there for ChainEdge and the ChainEdge family. Actually, part of the reason why I was up so late last night and didn't get much sleep, I don't know if many of you know, but we are in the works of building our own terminal. So you'll be able to trade ETH pairs, SOL pairs, and future EVM integrations as well. And I'm in the depths of testing out the infrastructure and interface of this terminal. It's not live yet. It's in early beta stages, but we keep iterating and making adjustments and improvements and fixes based off of input from myself and a few of the others in the beta group from ChainEdge. And I gotta say, I am looking forward to when we get that thing launched. But it's a lot of going back and forth with devs, trying to nail it all to get to the place where it's ready for you all to use. Okay, let's take a look in the chat. Let's see what else we got going on here. Shaolin Music said, and I probably bungled that. I'm sorry. Buenosera. Buenosera to you as well. Slim and Some says, King of the Blue Box, nailing it on YouTube to my man. Well, I thank you, man. I appreciate that. What a lovely comment. What else we got going on here? Todas says, best alpha in the game, or Tadas. Sorry, I apologize for that. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate you being here. What else we got? Intangible, GM to you as well, sir. And Crep says, he got in XMW around 4.5 mil and still holding for now. Well, guess what? We're going to take a look at that chart today and see what we got. But I suspect it still looks quite bullish. So good for you. Amazing that you're in that trade. Okay. So shall we do what we usually do? We'll pull up the majors just for a quick look. And I mean, it's finally a day that's not blood in the streets that I'm doing one of these streams. It feels good, man. It feels good to do one of these on a day where shit is bullish. Let's open this up, see what we got. Let me adjust the screen here. What's better? That? No. Yeah, that'll do. Oh, I like that little round circle face. That new circle face is not bad at all. 17 in the chat. Let's fucking go, says Mood for Ambience. I think that's maybe approaching our high for a live stream. And I do appreciate everyone that's either new to the stream and joining us, and everyone that's returning There's some people that have been here for every single stream, and now we're on episode 8. JPow go Brrrrrrr, by the way, was the name of this stream that I titled it. Feels good to feel fucking bullish, right? We've had enough of the chop and all that shit. Well, let's take a look and see what we got. I mean, shit. BTC looking nice. Let's pull this up larger for you guys. BTC looking nice. We're still within a daily bearish range, but I mean, this is very constructive what we've had going on here. We had this interim supply that we flipped into a breaker when we got a close above here. And now we're up into a previous supply zone. If we can flip this, I mean, we're looking pretty money. I drew this a few weeks ago just as a cheeky, like, maybe this is what happens. We're getting pretty close to invalidating that. You can see we're still trading this channel, so who knows? One step at a time. Don't like to predict too far in advance. It's foolish to try and predict anything beyond 1 or 2 moves, but at the moment, I mean, we could see some temporary resistance up in here. But if we blast through this and reclaim the previous all-time high from last cycle, I mean, we're looking pretty fucking good. Let's take a look. ETH still lagging. I mean, come on, buddy. Come on, little buddy. Come on, little buddy. What you got in you? Come on, come on, come on. Ooh, it's been tough being an ETH holder, but my long term, I mean, you can see the discrepancy. We don't even have to pull an ETH BTC chart to tell you what that's looking like, that it's probably looking pretty rough. Solana, I mean, look at what we got going on here today. Massive 6% up on the day so far. Looks like we put in a high above here. Now we're still in a bearish range from that massive sequence of selling that occurred end of July into early August. But we are putting in some constructive shit. Like, we got a interim break of structure here. When we closed above there, we came down into that demand, and you know, things are looking good. We might get another stair step here. Now, I am still aware, like, we have this up here, which has been significant in the past, but you know, one step at a time. We're feeling bullish, so let's not concern ourselves too much with what's going to happen too many steps ahead. But you guys are not here for the majors. We're here to look at shitcoins. We're here to look at the on-chain world, which, as you guys know, is where my analysis really shines. It's my specialty. It's where I focus my efforts and where the majority of my work goes. If you guys are looking for more in-depth analysis for majors and sex pairs, I would highly recommend the boy Trader Main, which is pretty much where majority of my system is based around. About 75% of how I trade was developed learning from him, as well as a few other chads, which I've mentioned to you guys in the past. I do plan on putting together a list and putting those in the AFM Telegram group, which, by the way, let's do this as well. Got to remember to do these things every time. Like, subscribe, and comment if you enjoy what we're doing, and all of those links and everything are in the description below. Okay, let's fuck off with this now, and let's get to it. I'm going to pull up. There we go. Now it's me. Let's pull up today's watch list. It's pretty significant. There's more than 20 pairs on there, so it's where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Okay. Here we go. Here's today's list. Let me get my face out of there so you guys have the full screen. Here's today's watch list. We've got a little over 20 pairs. So it's going to take us some time to get through that. We're already 20 minutes in. I'm going to try and blaze through these so that we're not spending too much time. Let's fucking go. As you guys know, I like to sort them by volume, top down. We can dig in, see what the charts are telling us. Let's start up here with neiro. The CTO version that got listed out of the blue by Binance. I mean, look at this thing. It was down here before the listing, around 14 mil. And on daily, I mean, this thing has just been up only. Look at that. What an insane rally. Like, to get daily candles like that from listing. Almost a 30x is wild. Let's take a look and see what we see. Let's start fresh, clear it off. I mean, we do have this level here, but I mean, I don't really think that's a realistic thing that's ever going to happen again. At least not for now. We have another level here on H12. Possible. I mean, that'd be a significant correction. What do I see here as well? We've got this level here, this swing level there on H12. Let's keep drilling it down, see what we got. Okay, so here we're starting to get workable market structure. What do we have here? On H12, a higher high. So then we'd be thinking that our demand, which was actually just about tagged, this whole region is kind of demand, but maybe if it comes down into here, there's the bottom of your H4 range. No, over here. Now, this thing has had an insane rally. Does it have a lot more gas in the tank right now? I don't know. But buying any time during the consolidation over the last 3 days has led to higher prices. So we're just going to continue to assume that that's the case. So here's your H4. There's your H4 demand, bottom of the range. We don't know if this is the top of the range yet, but we did make a higher high on H4 when we closed above that level. I can also mark that out. Fairly significant level. I mean, there's not much to do on this at the moment. If you're looking like, if you're trying to get in this thing, I would wait for a higher time frame pullback personally, because at some point you're going to get one. Approaching 500 million, you know, it feels potentially overextended, but at the same time, like I just said, it's respected every consolidation and then continued up higher. So if you're looking for a trade on CTO neiro, inside of here, this H4 demand would be what you're looking for. It's doing a pretty good job of holding that higher high break level so far. So if you get a little bit of consolidation here, it's similar to what we had here. You know, look at, there was another higher high, consolidated higher high. Like, this thing just keeps stair stepping. It's like beautiful. Yeah, so that's a good one to keep an eye on. Also a great gauge for market sentiment. Like, this almost preceded the bullish sentiment. Not almost, it did precede the bullish sentiment that we got yesterday with JPow's rate cut announcement. So like, this is a good gauge for Ethereum on-chain health. Similar to how peipei was a gauge for that, and I'd say less so to an extent now with peipei, just because it's become its own thing. Like, yes, it's an Ethereum coin, but like, it's its own thing now. So this one is probably a good gauge for Ethereum on-chain meme health, at least. Moving along, request for misha that came in yesterday. So this was the one that came in as an alert. Let's clear this up. Let's see what high time frame we've got. So nothing on H4. H1's probably the not even much really to work with on H1. So we're really still on an M15 chart. And what I can see is we've got this demand here on M15, which is acting as it should so far. We had the higher high break there. When you got the close above, creating the higher high. So here's your M15 range. And what you're really looking for is for this to hold, this demand here, which it's had a couple tags so far. I'm also seeing that you're starting to get acceptance a little bit higher again on M15. You closed above that. So maybe this is your demand that you're looking at right now, right in here. See that? Like it was on within the range on a slight downtrend. Now you're seeing it get acceptance to start closing higher, which is what we did here as well. Like you saw, if you look over here, that occurred. Now it's until the actual range is broken either to the upside or downside, all this in between stuff is still, chop, and your bias is bullish. But you can see when you had that close above there, you actually had a range that formed that gave an interim trade. Like if you're really locked in on these charts, right? You got that close above, created this interim range, buying that right there was a trade. Like it's a short-term trade that didn't get you to the top. But if you like to trade things quite a lot and you're less so a holder and more a trader, like these are the types of setups that you look for. And what I'm seeing right now is one of those potentially setting up right here. Because what you got was an M15 close above that previous swing. So you're looking for something in here to get you back up here, ideally. Maybe you get a close above and then you start looking for even higher. But for now, and one thing, so when would you be invalidated on this trade? I mean, if you get a close below here, let's throw the fib up and see what we're working with. Okay, so look at that. 786 is right there. We're really close to it. We just missed tagging it. So maybe it does want to come down into here before going up. It's yet to be seen. But this very well could be the bottom happening here. It's been interacting with the pocket quite a bit. So you want to see what happens here. Like if you can get another stair step up here, that's looking pretty good for at least coming back up to here. Right? Something up and around here. And then see what happens. And you can start getting more closes above, meaning a candle body close above these levels. Good indication that you're going to keep going higher. But right now, this is just chop and consolidation after a pretty impressive run up yesterday. Okay, moving along. How's everyone doing? Let's see. There was a question here. Just for insight and reference, when you open a chart to read it, are you reading from left to right or right to left? When I open a chart, which way do I look at it? I'm probably looking at the left side of the chart immediately, where the majority of the price action has occurred. But my eye is like, when I open a chart, my eye is immediately drawn to certain areas. Like, or are you just looking for interesting pattern levels? Okay, well, let's take a look at the next chart and then I'll walk through that. So the next one up is moodeng. Cute little baby hippo. Okay, so what I immediately noticed was, as I have a few lines drawn here already, this is just very basic analysis. I don't even remember doing that. But as I had a few lines drawn already, immediately that's what I saw. But let's just say we were opening a fresh chart. So let's just start this again. Oh, it didn't get rid of them. Probably was too quick with that. Okay, now it should be reset. So you open a fresh chart. What do I see? Well, given that I could see the whole chart in this particular instance, I saw the whole thing, so it's a bad example. We'll find one in the future, and we'll come back to that, if that makes sense for you. Okay, moodeng. Cute little baby hippo has had an Absolutely amazing run up. Like definition of a parabola right there. What am I seeing immediately when opening this? So this is an H4 chart. I wonder if we have, yeah, H12 has some history, but you really don't want to see it coming down and down into here. I guess maybe on H12 I could see this fair value gap there as an area of interest. Where would the bottom of the H12 range be? I mean, it's all the way down here. You don't want to see that coming down. We can't really make the top of the range yet. Like we can speculate that that's probably it. But until we get the candle close on this one, we won't know that for sure because, you know, if it ends up here, then that's not a swing point. But we can infer at the moment that that's probably going to be the range high. But what I'll do is I'll mark this here. Okay, let's go down to H4, which we definitely have structure. So H4, what do I see? I see a swing low that created a range when it closed above that level there. So there is your H4 range. Here was the higher high break. So on H4, what you're saying to yourself is this demand right here, I want to see hold. You're looking for this on H4 to be the next spot for your higher low to form before attempting to go higher. Now, one thing that I am noticing when we're on H4 here is there is a difference in the candles here versus what's occurred up until now. Right? Like even this leg here was a short and then up, whereas now we're getting a sort of double pattern of that. So that's something to be aware of. Like, did you get a sweep there on that? Was that an H4 sweep? No, you didn't actually sweep the high. So that's beneficial. That this could just be consolidation before next leg up. If it actually swept the high, I'd be a little bit more concerned. But we didn't do that. I mean, it might be different on different charts. But that's what I see at the moment. But if it were to give you a deeper pullback, I would look on H12 into this fair value gap here. I'm not saying it's going to give you that. Like that H4 very well could hold. It's a bullish chart. It's kind of reviving Solana because Solana trenches have been a little bit lackluster for a while, and it's definitely bringing volumes back, and so a bunch of Solana coins are waking up. But there's your H4 range. If you're looking to get in this coin, obviously as close to the bottom of the range as you can get as possible. I am noticing on H1 here, we did have a bunch of sweeps, right? Like H1, printed the high, sweep, 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 sweep. And now, you know, it's looking like it's coming down a bit, which is perfectly fine, right? We can have the main trend be one thing with the counter trend on a lower time frame be another. But, you know, if you're getting, let's take a look. So you're getting sweeps here. Maybe this is where it's going to attempt to go for higher again. But say you were in this trade and you're like, okay, where am I looking to TP? This would have been your indicator. You put in a high on H1, and all of a sudden you're getting selling at the level with a failure to gain acceptance above. A multiple, right? You had 1, 2, 4, 7 different hourly candles that swept that level. Now, it doesn't mean this coin is cooked by any means. It just means that on H1, you're starting to soften with it potentially looking for its higher low on H4 somewhere in here. And again, if it wants a deeper pullback, H12, I'd look somewhere in there. if you want to go even lower time frame, so you're like, okay, I'm monitoring this coin. What would I look for to enter? Well, go down to lower time frame and look for the same fractal to occur on lower time frame, which we're not really seeing yet. Like you can see M15 is definitely on bearish structure, but that's just the counter trend to the primary trend or your higher time frame analysis, which is bullish. So that's perfectly fine. You get the main trend up with a bunch of counter trend until you find the higher low on the main trend. And that's all that you're looking for, right? So right now, I mean, yeah, there hasn't been a higher on M15 yet. And I just, M5, I don't really rely on when a token starts to get this much chart history. Like you could certainly take short-term trades off of that, off of an M5 setup. Like yeah, right in there. This could be a short-term setup, but I find that more noise than anything when a coin has this much history. So you're just looking for the trend to flip bias back to the higher time frame trend. Moving along. Does anyone have any questions on that? Good. Okay, let's move along. Cate. Been a part of that massive Ethereum bullishness related to the neiro listing and all of the neiro and doge relative cats and dogs to those animals popped off. Someone asked the other day, actually, in the AFM Telegram, and I provided an analysis that there was a short-term trade here, which actually ended up unfolding. But I said I'd really be looking down here on H4 into this line. And it's interesting to see where do we land. Right on that line on H4. So let's clean this up and start fresh. See what we see. Start marking out some levels. Very clear, important level up there. Let's mark out the H4 range, which I believe I outlined as here. Why here? Well, because here's your low. That created a higher high above here. Now I'm not counting that as a higher high, even though it did close above it. Now you may be asking why. Well, because we can see how important that level's been. Let's see if we go up a time frame. Yeah, okay. So there we go. It's an H12 level. There's your H12 range, right? Bottom of your range, top of your H12 range. Here was the higher high on H12, creating that range, right? We had the low that created the high, making a higher high above the previous swing high. Now you have your H4 demand in here. And then what I outlined was I said, I think ideally you want to be entering down here if you get a sweep of that H4 level. Lo and behold, got a sweep of the level, and now it's reacting. It doesn't mean you're going to get new all-time highs. It just means that was a really high probability trade entry right there. So if you manage to buy this, there's not much to do. You don't want to manage this trade. You just want to monitor. The trade is not invalidated, though, until you get a close below here. So you just got to give this room to breathe. Okay, and as we were talking about a moment ago, about looking for lower time frame triggers. So here's something that we can, like, say you didn't manage to buy this, but you're wondering, okay, I'm trying to get on board. What would I be looking for? Well, here is your M50 or H1 range. If you get an H1 close above there, you're looking to buy a higher low somewhere in here. But right now it's respecting that H1 range and consolidating. Let's take a look on M15 and see what we got. Okay. So there we go. M15 got a close above there. And now so far, utilizing that as demand. Right? Like say price comes down here and you're like, fuck, should I buy? I don't know. It's looking heavy. I mean, that's the time to buy. Let's just be perfectly real. Like the more confirmation you add as layers to as a trigger to buy, the later to the trade you're going to be. So you're often rewarded, especially if it's a level of significance, if you're buying that area, especially on higher volume pairs. But say you're like, okay, I don't know, like, well, what would have been the next trigger for you was when you got a close above that M15 level, creating a higher high. Well, now you had new demand here. Why is this a better entry than here, other than obvious reasons of you're getting in earlier? Well, because now your invalidation on this trade is down here, but also the invalidation on the higher time frame trade is all the way down here. But on M15, you're looking at this saying, okay, I think this is the higher low. Let's see if we can get closes above there. Moving along. Actually, one last thing I want to do on K. Let's just throw up fibs and see what we're looking at. Okay, aligns with the pocket. Look at how perfectly that low. I mean, when you're doing your analysis, I always start with my primary analysis, which is my level analysis, seeking the range, seeking the market structure, seeking out demand and supply. And then from there, when I have the primary levels I'm looking at, then you can throw up a fib and see what you got. And I mean, the confluence between that, like look at how perfectly that aligned with the golden pocket. High probability that you'd be getting a reaction there. Now, if you're, as many of you, still early to learning TA and trying to find confidence in your own analysis, it's perfectly fine. Throw up the fib first and take a look and see what you see, and then start hunting out levels. Because more often than not, you can utilize different analysis styles to arrive at a similar conclusion. And when your different styles of analysis align with confluence, then your confidence for that as a trade goes up because your probability goes up. Because the meme of the TA, TA is just a meme. We've talked about it before. It's not a guarantee, but what it is probabilities. And why is it a probability? Well, it's because people are looking at those levels. So for now on this, that's what, that's what's taken place. And again, invalidation on this would be a close below here. Now on M15, if you took this trade on M15, if you get a close below here, you could look to cut and maybe try and get in down here, because if you lose this level, especially if you get an hourly close here, you're most likely coming down here. Now, the thing is, it's not that far of a drop, and like with gas fees and everything, especially now that gas on Ethereum is creeping back up. Woo! We're back to being bullish, right? I know I'm feeling a little bit more excited today, but it does feel good to be bullish. I mean, we've been seeing 30 Gwei. Right now we're sitting at 15. So, I mean, getting in and out of trades like that on Ethereum becomes a lot more costly, which is also helpful for your bags, right? Because you won't be having a bunch of dirty fucking jeets trying to exit on every little scare. But that's the setup right there on Kate. Moving along. Oof, we're going slowly. How are we doing on time? We're 45 in and we've done 1, 2, 4 coins. Okay, I'm gonna have to speed this up. Let's get to moving. Pesto. Take a look at what we have here. I think this was a request from my good buddy Too Tall, who we had on that impromptu stream a few weeks ago when we looked at the majors specifically and just had a shoot in the shit chat. Okay. So this was analysis that I had drawn out a few days ago. Most likely, yeah, it was based off of H1. I mean, the H1 analysis here is still valid. But let's start fresh. Draw out what I see. Here's your demand on H1 with your range, bottom of your range, top of your H1 range. Why is that the range? Well, this was the low that created the high, creating a higher high above the previous range high. There was your higher high break. When you got that, that was your new range. As soon as you closed above this level, the previous swing high, that was your range. Bottom of your range, top of your range. I mean, it's come down into this area perfectly. It's held it, looking like it wants to go up. Yeah, there's not much more to say on this one. Market structure intact. Do we have... Okay, so something you could look at is there is an H4 level down in here. Let me also throw this up. There is an H4 demand here. Like maybe it wants to come down here. But as it stands, it's looking pretty good in here. We can throw up the fib just for a little bit of confluence, see what we got. Perfectly aligned with the 786. You can see it just behind that swing, that key swing level that I just marked out, which it's also bouncing off of. Like you can see that this level is pretty important, but it aligns perfectly with the 786 fib. Now, when you were marking this out and looking at this, yeah, there was also people looking at the golden pocket, as you can see. Some buyers stepped in there. So you could take stabs at those as trades, especially on Solana, where it's so cheap to get in and out of a trade. You could have been looking at the setup going, okay, what's in demand? Maybe I'll take a punt here for a trade. And if you've got a short-term trader's mindset, I mean, you had a 60% move there. It's not a bad trade at all. And now we're down into here. But you'd be like, looking at that, you'd be like, okay, there's 50-50 chance it's either going to bounce and buyers are going to step in at the pocket or at the 786. Now, given that you had this breakout level perfectly aligned with the 786, I would say that the probability slightly skewed towards coming down to the 786 region, bottom of the range on H1, just because you have a few things aligning there, and Solana coins do like testing bottom of the ranges. They're like almost famous for it, I would say, where you get to a point where like, oh fuck, is this game over? And then it's just like, oh, buyer stepped in, and then we go. Oh, and look at that MEV wick we just got. Someone watching the stream and punting right now. Okay. Now, that is an MEV wick, but some people might look at that and say, okay, are we getting a sweep here on H1? Given that it's MEV induced, I'd be less concerned about that. But as the H1 sweep, that could be something to be aware of, right? Depending on how this candle closes. That's a sign of sellers, right? You know, you do have some supply in here, even though we're still within the bullish range. You do have some supply in here that is working through. So that's the current analysis on this. But also, if you see, we got some sweeps down here too, right? At the bottom of the range, sweeps bullish. So, you know, your expectancy on this would be forming a higher low before going higher. Moving along, XMW, one of the coins from that alert that I mentioned that we just rolled out on ChainEdge. Okay, let's clean this up. This is H1. Let's see. Okay, we've got H4. Excuse me. Level of importance that I see there. Is that? No, it's the same level. Let's go to H1. I've got another level here. So you can see once it flips swing highs, how important those levels are. Right, like here was your previous demand on H1, which aligned with the swing high that got flipped. So now you've done that again here. You should flip the swing high. So what are we looking for now? You're looking for demand in here to hold for a higher low. Here's your H1 range. It's a bullish trending range. Here's the market structure break there for a higher high. Now you're looking for demand to step in here. Just curious, the alert that we got. So I think the alert pinged somewhere in here. Like obviously wallets were very bullish on it. They were buying it up early. The alert pinged somewhere in here. So then you had some time through this consolidation. Like if we jump down, like when that had occurred, yeah, so the alert came in somewhere in here. If you're like, okay, that alert seems bullish, a super high amount of accumulation in a short period of time for a brand new launch coin, what would I be doing to look to get on board? Well, you have this M15 demand right here. Look how perfectly that played out. You had a bias to go higher when you got a higher high, close above that level. So you had a bias that the chart wanted to go higher. You had a very bullish confluence of the amount of holdings that had occurred in a short period of time. Now, yes, this isn't a swing low here, but given the age of the chart being so young, I mean, we can probably pop down to M5, and there's probably a swing low right there. Yeah, there's your swing low right there, right? And you also had another demand there. So depending on what time frame you're looking at this on, like there was M5 ceiling as a swing, closed above, came down, tagged into this demand here, and then set. Now it came down and chopped for a while, and you came back pretty close, or probably exactly where you would have entered on that. So you might have been sweating a little bit, thinking, "Oh fuck, did I not sell? Did I miss sell on the top or whatever?" Well, that's when you go higher time frame, right? You had that there to see that you had a demand there, and know what time frame you're starting to base your trade off of. And after that alert, if you see something like that, like, say you got in somewhere here, say you missed that entry, but then it comes back down and you buy like somewhere here, 160% you would have gotten so far. With that confluence of factors. This had also launched with, fairly high volume. It lit up the alpha stream. I was watching it in real time when it launched. So now on H1, you're looking for a higher low to form here with aims to get a higher. And I believe someone in the AFMTG had asked yesterday about how to look for an entry on this. And they mentioned something about they threw fibs up and it just front ran the fibs. I've mentioned in the past, on utility plays, I'm less reliant on fibs. I am more so reliant on primary analysis. In general, I'm more so reliant on primary analysis, but more for memes is when I'm looking for that confluence across fibs for that golden pocket or 786 pullback. Those meme confluences. But on utility plays, yes, that they do often align with those levels, but I will always look at primary analysis first. And I believe the question was somewhere. I can't remember when exactly they asked what time it was, but I think it might have been off of this M15 here. Yeah, I think the chart had done this so far, and they were like, okay. And I didn't see the question until after, so I apologize that I wasn't able to get to this sooner, but They were looking at that going, oh, it didn't give me the pocket entry. But as we highlighted before, just briefly ago, you had that, which is what I would have been looking for. So now on H1, you're just looking for a higher low here. What can you do on lower time frame to start to look for a way to get on board if you're looking for a confirmation entrance? Well, you'd be looking for a higher high, but it's so shallow here that you'd almost be buying the top. So your best to just wait and see if you get something deeper in here and then just buy, knowing that you could get some level of drawdown, but that the trend is upwards. It's a bullish trend, stair stepping. Doom, 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 doom. You're looking for the higher low. And I suspect it's going to form somewhere in here. So just monitor that if you're looking for entry. Moving along, had a request for Vista. Okay. So after the last stream, there was analysis that I believe I said, yeah, I said we were somewhere here, and I said I suspect we're going to come down and tag the bottom of the H12 range, which we did. And then there was an interim setup when you got an H4 higher high, tagged into demand. There's a couple trades there, but it failed to follow through for higher highs. And then you came back down to the bottom of the H12 range again, which is perfectly normal. You just have to be aware of what time frame you're trading on. So the H12 could take time before it starts to go up higher. Now on H4, you've again flipped bullish there. Got to close above. Didn't quite come down into the demand, although this whole region of price action, this is an area of demand because you can see selling occurring before expansion. So, you know, this whole area. And what you did get was you got a tag of the breakout level. And what have we done again here? Look, we've got another one here. So now we're looking for H4, this demand here to hold, which you can see buyers are stepping in there, right? Like, still holding decent volume. I mean, the volume's fallen off quite a bit from when it launched, as things do, and you sort of ask yourself, how long can these things command attention for? I've also noticed that the Vista coin launches have been fewer and fewer over the last little while, and it's all been Uniswap launches again. So that's something to consider. But H4 is bullish. H12 is still bullish. You're just looking for the higher low here somewhere to go on to attempt new highs. I'd be aware of this level though, right? Like that level is important. Okay, moving along. Wrapped dog. How we doing? Still got 8 of you. Lost a few of you. I know these streams can be long and it's midday. People have work and whatnot. Just remember that these streams are always available for replay. You can watch them at your leisure. I recommend watching them at minimum on 1.5x speed. Okay, wrapped dog. So this is analysis that has been drawn out for a while. It feels like a month it's been. And this supply has continued to give it troubles. But on the last stream, I outlined this box here and I said I would be looking for a higher low to form in there, which it did. Came in. Now we don't have a confirmed higher low yet until we get a close above that level. But it is doing stair stepping, right? Like you got the close above that level into here. Now it's trying to stair step higher. Just looking at it, I mean, this is compressing like crazy. So when this finally releases itself, it's going to be explosive. It's on a tendency to go higher. So you think your bias is that it's going to break through this supply. I can also see this meme line that we've had that's been following. So maybe if you get a close above this range swing level right here, not the range, because the range is actually still technically in bearish range, but we're getting stair stepping up into it. If you get a close above that swing level, you'd look for a higher low somewhere over here, right? Like your demand would be in here, which we won't know yet until you get a close above here. If this is a sweep, then you think, okay, maybe we're going to come back down here. But if this closes above, then you're looking for something in here, which would probably align with this meme line. And I think it's just a matter of time before this explodes up. So either you got in the trade somewhere down here, and you're looking for the close above here on daily. I mean, it's going up. And Solana memes are heating up, especially some of the coins that are a few months old are starting to get a lot of momentum again. Month and a half old on this one. But if you're looking for a way to get on board this trade, wait for this daily to close and find somewhere in here with alignment over here. Like maybe this is going to be your demand. Maybe you're looking for something here for a higher low. Or if you're watching this, you're like, okay, I think this is the train is going to leave the station. How can I get on board this now? Well, switch down to lower time frame. See how well it respected that range high. It closed above on M15, bounced right off of it. So you could take a trade here, and then say, okay, if it closes below here on M15, then I'm waiting for something to come back down over here. Let's take a look on hourly. Yeah, I mean, hourly, you got a higher high close when it closed above there, making a new H1 range. There's your range. And it's tagged that, and so far responding with buyers stepping in at that level. Now, if you were looking at this before, saying, okay, how could I have gotten on board this? Well, there was a few moments where you could have. Although it's been a long slog. I mean, H1 is really choppy. Like I can see a couple spots, but then you would have had to wait a long time and then you ended up chopping through it anyways. Let's take a look on H4. Okay. So on H4, had you been monitoring this, looking for a trigger, there was your lower low on H4. So which made this your range. That was your H4 range. Swing high that created the low, creating a lower low, close below that level. Well, you got to close above. So then you're saying, okay, I'm looking for something to come into this demand here. Bingo. We even got a sweep of that swing low. A few sweeps telling you, okay, buyers are stepping in. This probably wants to go at least to the top of the range on H4. Which you then, oh, that was a sweep. But now, oops. Now you've got to close above on H4. So H4 is doing that stair stepping thing. But at the moment, if you're not in this trade already from like down here, this feels late just because of how much the move has gone already. What is that? 75% move. Now, it could very well pop from here. So if you're like, okay, I'm going to miss this opportunity, well, monitor this on N15. You're buying here. You start closing below this level. Well, then you're looking for lower. But it's holding so far. So you could take a trade based off of this, just knowing that you're in validation. I mean, that's pretty close. Give yourself a little bit of leeway on that. So just in case it's just a sweep, but decent RR there. If you're thinking this is going to leave the station, like this is taking off, you're like, I'm going to get left behind. How would I do this? Well, or another tag down into here. If it comes back here, you just throw a punt and see what happens. Because then if it does close below, your invalidation is really close. And then you're looking for here or down in here, somewhere into that daily level. Provided this closes above this on daily, then you're looking for something here. Otherwise, you're looking down here again. I know it's a lot of lines going on here, but I think you guys get it by now, right? But at the moment, I mean, you even had some daily signals here into this demand, right? Like, look at that. Daily demand, daily sweep, inside demand, good signal. How would you have played that? Say you got that sweep. I mean, you're waiting for the daily candle to close on that. But I'm pretty sure when we were looking on that at H4, it had sweeps there too, right? So you just had to drop down a lower time frame to look for your entries on a higher time frame. But like I said, multiple ways to enter this, because I don't want an hour or two from now to go by and then everyone's like, holy fuck, the thing took off and we weren't able to get on board because you said wait for it to come down here. Well, there is a trade idea right here. And if you have the patience, potentially here, depending on what happens with this close. I mean, it's looking pretty strong, but we're still hours and hours away from the daily close. We're 5 hours and change away from the daily close. So quite a bit of time there. Okay, let's move along. Peipei. Haven't looked at this coin in forever. Let's take a look at what's going on. Haven't looked at it in so long. It still has those ugly volume colors. Okay. Let's go to daily, see what we got. So the last time I had drawn this, it got daily closes below. Let's find out where their daily range is. What was the swing high that created the low? Was it this? Okay, yeah. Or even, okay. So this coin had been in daily bearish structure and it has since flipped bullish. Where and how do I see that? Or how do I know that this is flipped bullish? Doesn't mean it's going to remain bullish. I'm just saying it has flipped bullish. Well, here was your swing high that created a lower low when it closed below this level on daily. So there was your daily range. From there to there, it was a daily bearish range, but then you got a daily close above that swing high, flipping daily back to a bullish market structure, which created this demand right there on daily. There's your range low. There's your range high. Closed above, back to daily bullish structure, and the demand chopped a bit. Didn't quite get a sweep at that level, but bulls were buying. And now we're attempting another higher high on daily. So if you get a daily close above here, you're looking to buy either a retest of that higher high break, since this is a fairly significant daily candle with decent expansion. Yes, there's a chance that it comes back into the demand all the way down here, but we'll just have to see how this candle closes. At the moment, though, it's bullish daily structure. Doing stair stepping, looking for that bullish close. I think first trouble area you might run into is something up here, right? Because that was people stepped in to buy here and then they got sold through. So, you could be looking at that as a supply zone. But since overall the market is looking bullish, we're gonna lean bullish on most things right now. We didn't stick around this market through the hard times for when it gets better to go, okay, we're looking for reasons to be bearish. No, we're looking for reasons to remain bullish. So, you might see some resistance up in here as it is showing so far, but I think you're looking for a higher low then to go higher. At the moment, is there a way to sort of get on board this? Yeah, H1, if you get a sweep of that. I mean, even on H1, if it comes down here, you could just blind buy that because I think you're going to get buyers stepping in. Now, does that mean it gives a higher high from there? I don't know. But I think there's a high probability that if it comes there, buyers will step in. So you do have a trade right there on H1. But your better risk reward trade would be waiting for the daily to close and trying to find somewhere. Maybe what ends up happening is we get a fair value gap in here, like on H12. Say this closes like that, well then all of a sudden, so H12, you've already gotten a higher high. Say this closes like that, and you've got this fair value gap here on H12, well then you're looking for a higher low somewhere in here. Again, you still got a ways to go, 5 hours until daily close. So, and H12, the daily and H12 candle close aligns twice a day or once a day. But I mean, this is looking quite bullish, right? Like you've had a high break on H12 as well as daily. That's a daily higher high, but also an H12 higher high with, why did that not show up? Here we go. Current interval below. Also was H12 demand, and now you've made a new high on H12. Now, no, this box wasn't drawn out before. That's how you highlight a fair value gap. I've shown before, but how you draw out a fair value gap is the candle before and after a candle of large displacement without any opposing price action within. So on a bullish candle, any selling within that on the time frame you're analyzing. So you outline the top of the wick or body of the candle preceding, whatever the top of it is, to the bottom of the wick or body of the candle after, and there's your fair value gap. It's an area of large displacement where fair value was discovered. Now, we've got some time to go before that candle closes, but it's looking like that's going to probably be that, especially since you had this H12 higher high. So I would be looking for something in there. Actually, let's go back here. Let's just see. Hypothetically, if that ends up being how this H12 closes, well, if you look, where did that, well, that was that H1 swing level that I highlighted, where I said if something comes in here, it's probably a good bet, right? There's also another H1 swing there. Maybe something happens there. But you want to be buying as deep of a pullback as you possibly can, especially when something is looking bullish. The probability is to go continued upside. Okay, so on M15, you got a higher high here on M15. It's into this demand and finding reaction, finding buyers. But this chart has so much history that M15 is going to be short-term and a lot of noise that you really want to be going H1, even H4. So H4, this is your H4 fair value gap, which we're tightening it up, right? Like, see how we go lower time frame, we can tighten up our invalidation. So now H4, if you get something in here, you're looking for that to be your higher low, which aligns with that H1 sweep. Like, there's things lining up here. If you take a top-down approach and say, okay, what would I look for? H4 fair value gap. If you get an H1 sweep into there, that's a pretty good signal and a pretty good trigger. How's everybody doing? Does that make sense to you guys? How I layer analysis on top of each other to add confluence to things? Because all you're doing is you're looking for fractals, the high time frame to have a lower time frame fractal take place. And when things align like that, the higher probability you have more eyes on a specific level means that people are either have limit orders set or are waiting for that level to hit that they're going to market buy. That's actually a quite bullish looking chart. So one to keep on your radar. Looks like something went out of order here. I think it's just because peipei surpassed wdog in volume. Look at that. I mean, Ethereum is hot right now, guys. It's where I've been spending the majority of my time lately. Okay, Aura. So this was analysis done a while back. I'm not sure if we had this on our previous stream or not, or it might have just been a request in the AFM Telegram. But I outlined you had a daily higher high close. Why was that your daily higher high? Well, because this was your daily range and it was a bearish range. You got a close above on daily. All of a sudden you flipped the range bullish. There was your range and there was your demand. And look what happened. Daily came down into demand, found buyers to step in for a higher low, and we're very likely making a higher high. I say very likely because we're a while from the close, but I think if this came all the way back down here, that's a very bearish signal, and I don't think that's going to happen. So it's looking like you're getting the higher high close. Still a ways to go. And there is this area of supply that it's currently finding some resistance in. But as I said, given the way the market is shaping up right now, we want to be viewing things with a bullish bias, especially when things are aligning on daily timeframes to bullish structure for reasons to get a new bullish trade thesis. There's not really much you can do on this right now except wait for the close. If you're looking to get on board, then you'd probably buy some sort of retest of this level. That was an important weekly level. Is an important weekly level. So you want weekly to close above here. If you get a weekly close back below this level, wouldn't be great, but you get a daily close above here. I would say you'd probably find a higher low lining up with that weekly level. On hourly, look, you're getting stair stepping, right? Hourly had higher high, barely tagged the level. Look. You had an hourly higher high. It just came down and tagged that level before going higher. Then again, now had another hourly higher high. So if you want to trade this on the hourly, like say you're really into high speed trading, if you're looking for your H1 higher low in here with aims to go higher. Now the only trouble I see on this particular time frame is the bottom of your H1 range is all the way down here where your swing low is, right? So that's right. Your H1 range is that whole range. But you're looking for a higher low to form in here on H1. But keeping in mind the higher time frame is probably going to have a higher low pullback somewhere. But if you're just fast trading, like as soon as it tagged that, you could have been in a trade. Okay, had someone say they just dropped in. Maybe I already looked at Cate, but curious what I think of the chart. Well, if you rewind back, Cate was like the second or third token that we took a look at. And these are all recorded, so you'll be able to rewind and take a look at the analysis on that. Sure. At your leisure, you'll be able to watch that. But the analysis was done. Just go back to the first half an hour. It's like the second or third coin. Okay, moving along. How are we doing here? Still got quite a few, so let's push through. Moodeng, how are we doing on time? An hour and 20. I think we can get to the rest of these in 40 minutes and keep it to that 2-hour time frame. Okay, so this is Moodeng on Ethereum. This was the CTO one. I know there's 2 versions on ETH. Obviously, the Solana one is the primary. So H1 is bearish. Let's go higher time frame, see what we've got. Not really much to go up on H12 other than if it tags this, it's probably a good buy signal. H4 is still in a bullish trend, but you can see as soon as it closed below here, that's acting as a bit of resistance now. But on H1, I do see that we're in a bearish, and H1 is kind of like the highest time frame with true market structure that's discernible. So you had a H1 lower low. Why is that a lower low? Well, that was the low that created the high, creating a higher high, marking out your H1 range. You, in fact, even had a sweep here, which would have been a signal that maybe this is cooling, which since has definitely been selling off. Right, this was your H1 range from here to here. When it closed above this high here, there was your range, which it came into demand, made an attempt at all-time highs, swept. So, I mean, this would have been a good trade. Demand here, hold that up into there, play to the top of the range. But now, we're in H1 bearish when we close below this level here, right there. So now we've got our H1 range, which is a bearish H1 range, coming down close into this area of consolidation. I wonder if we throw up the fibs, what we'd be looking at here. Okay, so it came down and it tagged the 786 on the nose. So if you're a fibs only trader, you could have been waiting for that and just gone, okay, I'm going to put a punt right there. And you would have gotten a reaction. Now, how do you trade this now, given that it is H1 bearish? 2 ways. You wait for price action to come back down here, and you buy the bottom of the range, either as a sweep or just blind buy the bottom of the range, with your thesis being, you know, it's held before, it's the 786, buyers are going to step in again, and then you're looking to play it to the top of the range. Or if you get an H1 close back above the range, switching the H1 back to bullish, then you look for a lower high to form somewhere in here. At the moment, you're in the middle of a bearish H1 range. There's really no trade here because it's 50-50. It could go either way. And, you know, you want to have a slight edge in probabilities. You want it to be skewed in your favor. Well, then buying here is not edge. This is the definition of diddling in the middle of a bearish range. So Sweep, reclaim, go long, or blind buy down here, go long, or wait for the close up here, then look to buy a higher low here. So this is a wait and see. And what would invalidate this down here is if you get hourly closes or an hourly close below here. You look to exit as close to that level as possible. Because if it comes down lower, yes, you do have this consolidation here that we could mark out an area of demand. Maybe it wants to come down into here, but you know, one step at a time. At the moment, there we go. Oh, I didn't even catch the bottom of that. Come on. So maybe you know, if it fails that level, you'd be looking for something in here. And you're looking at that going, well, shit, if it loses that level, why would I sell? I mean, you're still looking at a almost 40% drawdown from that level. And what if that doesn't hold, right? So first things first. First setup would be close above there, flipping hourly back to bullish, buy a higher low. Another setup would be a sweep of that range low. Look for it to go trade back to the top of the range and potentially recapture and go higher. Those are your setups on moodeng CTO version on ETH. Smoking chicken fish. Okay. Analysis from last time, from last stream, looks as though it's played out. Looks as though it played out exactly as I highlighted. I'm pretty sure I said if you get a sweep of this daily level, as we were looking here going, okay, this is keeps giving it resistance, this meme line. If you get a sweep of this daily level, is a good trigger. I also said if it flips the meme line and starts closing on the outer side, then you'd be looking for a retest of the meme line to hold. And I found this tool the other day and I actually liked it quite a bit. What's this tool? Oh, that's ginormous. Oh. So when I say we're looking for a confluence of factors to occur based off of your primary analysis, daily swing low that got swept after it flips the meme line with close on the outer side of the meme line, sweep, close above, there's your trigger. God fucking damn, I am good though. Show your boy some love, guys. By the way, share the stream links, share the information around, let people know about the type of work we're doing at Astrology for Men with this analysis. Because the more people that learn, the higher the probability of these setups become, even though the analysis has been pretty spot on most of the coins that we've looked at throughout each of these streams. So now, what are you looking for here on smoking chicken fish? Because it is looking quite bullish after that sweep of the daily low there. It's not the range low, but a sweep of that low within daily demand, flipping the meme line. What are we looking for now? Well, what we're looking for is a bare minimum to get a close above here. Now, it may not happen in this daily candle. Like this could take a few days to play out, but you're looking for a flip of this level to close above, and then we'd be looking for another stair step somewhere because you can see that region's been important. You know, one swing high, sold off, up into that area, didn't quite sweep it, but sold off, got the sweep on the bottom, the counter indicator of, okay, maybe we want to go up. We've got a sweep of an important level. Now we're looking for to get a daily close up here and then keep that stair stepping going. But at the moment looks pretty good. If you're looking lower time frame, going, okay, how do I H1 on this has been so choppy and noisy, I wouldn't look at it. Okay. H4, if you're looking for an H4 trigger, be a higher low in there. Somewhere between 36 and 39 million in there. Somewhere in there for a higher low on H4. Keeping in mind that daily could still come back down lower for a higher low. But you did get an H4 higher high above that level when you closed above that swing high. So you'd be looking in there for an H4 higher low. Given how much consolidation this has done and how much price action has occurred in like over many days, I would be looking at this chart primarily on daily. But if you're looking at this going, okay, I think we're going to get at least to the top of this daily interim range and potentially with a close above, you're looking on H4 to get a higher low in this demand. Hopefully that makes sense. What do we got here? Okay, so Tice, sounds like you've heard me say about the cate analysis. Awesome. If you have any further questions on that one, Tice, please join us in the AFM Telegram group where you can ask further questions on the analysis. And the 12th Ent says, killing a dude. Respect, bro. Thank you, man. Just laying out what my eyes see. And the vision and goal for this live stream series and the Telegram group is to help you guys be able to see these things as they're occurring in real time so that you can analyze on your own. Just relaying what I've learned from years of analyzing these charts. But it's all a repeatable system and all very learnable over time, sitting with charts and spending time watching candles print. Like, this is all a learnable, repeatable system. That's, I've tweaked parts here and there over the years to be very adapted to on-chain. And I, as I've highlighted, have a few different techniques for whether it's a meme or a utility, but it's all based around the same principles. Okay, moving along. Bobo on ETH. Bobo the bear. I have not looked at this chart in a while. Although it looks as though, from whatever I drew last, that analysis has unfolded. Let's fix this. Okay. There we go. Let's make sure that's saving those. So, I drew this sometime about 2 weeks ago, beginning of September. We had a daily lower low, and I drew this supply. And then what have we had since? Well, we've had that supply flipped bullish when you got a daily close above here. Which then, as I pointed out before, when you flip a range, when you flip a supply zone bullish, it's called a breaker. Once you got a tag into this breaker, once it flips the supply into demand and went higher. But now where are we at now? Because that part of that trade is done. What have we had? Since then, you got another higher high on daily and another higher high on daily. So what we're looking at right now is you had a higher high break here. And by the way, if anyone is still wondering whether Ethereum is a good play or not, I mean, look at these coins that we've been looking at. Okay, so here is your daily range low. There's a range low, potential range high here, depending on how this daily candle closes. We can infer that we think it's going to close like that. Well, you're looking for something to come into this demand for a higher low. Yeah, even on H4, like you'd be looking for something to come down in there, which aligns with the daily demand. Some sort of, it'd be great is like an H4 sweep as a trigger. At the moment, you're waiting for this to finish what it's up to. Like, yeah, you could say, okay, so we've had an H4, so, high probability it's coming here. You just got to give it time. If you're in this trade already and you're wondering what to do, I see no indication of weakness. I just see consolidation with it looking for a higher low. Because as you can see, even on H4, no sweep, right? If there had been a sweep up here on H4 and a close below, then I'd be leaning a little bit more towards selling. But if you're in this trade, you're kind of just along for the ride now, looking for the higher low here to form. Or if you're looking to get in the trade, you're looking to buy somewhere in here. I think maybe I need to add that little orange circle as one of my tools because I think it is very useful. There we go. All right, you're looking for something. You're looking for something there. On H4, ideally a sweep, close above, there's your trigger to get back to the top of the H4 range, or just off of a daily or H12 move into here. Looking bullish though. I mean, liking the way this chart looks, I'm not going to lie. It looks quite nice. Okay, let's move it along. Does anyone have any questions at all at this point in time? Or is it all pretty, now that we've been drilling these concepts over and over again, is it becoming pretty clear how it is that I outline things and what it is that I'm looking for? Like, does anyone have any specific questions at this moment? Or I'm going to keep moving forward and I'll look back in the chat to see if anyone drops anything. But if you guys have questions, always, please feel free to ask. Either here or in the AFM TG, where I'll look at them after the stream and throughout the day. I pop in there pretty frequently. So if anyone's looking to get access to me, that's where you'll find me. Moving along, selfie. Okay. Sorry, I know I keep doing this, but Deck Screener has this thing where if you've viewed a chart before with different settings, it's just going to keep it that way until you reset it. And for the longest time, you actually weren't able to change the color bars and leave it saved with your profile, but now you can. So anytime I come across a chart that still has those old colors, I do like to update them because they're they don't look great, the green and red with my colors. My branding. Okay. So selfie, I mean, this was weeks ago that we did this analysis on stream. Highlighted this demand. I did say at the time that I still would prefer it to come down into this high time frame range level as a good buy, but the demand has held. I think if this ends up as a sweep of this daily high here, and in particular if it closes back below that weekly level, then I think you're coming back down here. And I still like a trade here, but trade the chart in front of you and what it's doing at the moment. It's done a daily tag into demand. Now it's run up to the range high. So, I mean, that theoretically could be a trade done. But if you're looking for a longer term hold, what you want is to get a daily close above here. If this ends as a daily sweep, then you'd be looking for potentially something to come back down here. I mean, look, there was even a trade there on daily, right? You had your stair stepping happening. Range within a range. Market structure within the range. Higher high into an interim demand. Daily into demand sweep. I mean, bullish indicators right there, right? You have to remember, the higher the time frame, the more clean the signal. And a daily sweep of a level, apologies about that, a daily sweep of the level within an interim demand area, probably a good trigger, good signal. Now, we are seeing selling occur at that level. So the daily close on this one's going to be important. If it sweeps this, it's signs of weakness, as it's done so far. Apologies about that. But if it actually sweeps this and closes below, as we've already had a few sweeps at that level, I would say probability-wise for lower comes into play. But you have to monitor this at the end of the day and see what happens. You still have, 4.5 hours to go until close. Okay, but what's interesting here, H12, let's take a look. It's by a fraction, but H12 closed above. Look at that. You got an H12 closed above the level. So now you're saying, okay, I got the H12 closed above. I'm looking for a higher low on H12 somewhere in here. Now, the only thing that would negate that as a basis for the analysis is the fact that it's a daily level. Like, yes, this is also an H12 range, but an H12 close above and below is also just a daily sweep. And sometimes they can pan out after the fact either way, as either the H12 being the primary and looking for a higher low to go higher from there, or it could just be the daily saying, no, this is a sweep, we want to go lower. So given that the theme of the day is we're looking for reasons to stay bullish, let's just say on H12, especially since it's finding support at that level, probably a good area to be buying on a short-term basis. You can see it's reacting at the level on hourly. Now, your H1 range is all the way back down here. As this H4 is down here, you do have this H4 fair value gap. You're starting to lose this level on H4. So I think you want to look for lower. But let's just see how this unfolds. There's really not much to do at the moment, given how important this daily range has been, clearly, that you don't want to be trying to buy the top of the range, because a range is a range until proven otherwise. So you don't want to be buying here and then all of a sudden you're down here, right? You want to either get a range flip with a higher high and then be buying somewhere in here, because then your new range, you'd be buying the lower third of the range. Or if this ends up as sweeping all this, then you want to be looking for somewhere back either here or down in here for another attempt, because a range is a range until proven otherwise. Moving along. Ticker Bitcoin. I haven't analyzed this one in forever. I mean, here's the definition. We were just talking about a range is a range until proven otherwise. Ticker Bitcoin is the absolute definition of that statement. Absolute definition of that statement. A range is a range until proven otherwise. I mean, ideally, your trade is somewhere down here, but given market bullishness that's occurring right now, maybe you're not going to get that. I mean, you had a weekly, is that a sweep or is that a close below? Because that could change things. What do we have here? Weekly sweep. Good sign. How would I analyze this right now, given how important the range has been? I mean, you even have an interim level there that's been pretty important. Sorry, I've got mumbly there. We even have an interim weekly level there that's been pretty important. I think if you're not in this trade at the moment, like see how important that level's been. If you're not in this trade at the moment, either wait for it to come down here somewhere or get a weekly close above this, recapture that level, and then there's your trigger. I mean, let's pop down to daily, see what we got. Okay, we keep talking about this. You get sweeps on high time frame. Pretty bullish or pretty good indicator that it wants to go to the opposite direction. Daily sweep, 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 sweep. Starting to go higher. Let's see if we got a daily, because your daily on ticker Bitcoin has been in a bearish structure. But where does that range flip bullish? The only problem with that is this is your daily range from here to here. Why is that your daily range? Well, this was the high that created the low, creating a lower low, making bearish structure. And right here, right now is, what did I just say? You don't diddle in the middle. It's the epitome of the middle. Now, I did just say, though, that if you flip this level on weekly, not daily, but weekly, and a recapture of that, that would be a good indicator. Even though you've had it happen a couple times, I think given that it's swept this weekly level, like if it closes above there, it probably wants to go back to the top of the range. But on daily, right now, what can you do? I think maybe what you could say is if daily flips this, if you get a daily close above this level, which at the moment it's attempting, if you get a daily close above this level, then you're looking in this zone, which would be flipped from a supply into demand, or would be a breaker. You'd be looking for something to come into here as a higher low. That could be your interim trade thesis. But if I'm looking at this right now, buying here right now is risky because it's 50-50 with which way it wants to go. But I think any pullbacks, like say you even get a pullback into this demand, like say this flips that level, you look for a higher low here, somewhere in this demand. Somewhere between 74 and 90 million market cap, something in there. Only if it flips that level. If this sweeps, then you're going to have to watch and see how things are unfolding. But again, let's just try and remain bullish on everything that we're looking at. So you're saying to yourself, I'm looking for a higher low. After whatever play ends up here, the next move you're looking for is the higher low to go long on. Wojak coin. Wojak coin. Okay. Can't remember when I drew this analysis. It would have been after this daily closed above here because you got a higher high. So about a week or 10 days ago, you got a higher high, came into the demand, and made a new higher high. And it's potentially putting in another higher high. So how would I analyze this right now? When did you get the close above? No, that was a sweep. So there's your current range high that you're working with. There was the higher high break on daily, which then gave you this daily demand that it tagged, and now it's going for a higher high. I mean, pretty textbook stuff. One of the beauties of trading on ETH is how clean things trade. So you're looking for another daily close above here, and then you're going to find demand somewhere in here. It's bullish though. Like, your daily trend is bullish. You start to dream bigger, right? But the daily trend is bullish. And I believe it was weekly demand. Yeah, see, it came into a weekly demand, which was weekly was bullish. Came into weekly demand. You even got a weekly sweep right there of that level. You got a weekly sweep. A lot of factors lining up. And now you've got daily has realigned with the bullish weekly structure. So now you're just looking for that trend to continue. So once this closes, something down around here, or maybe even retagging that weekly level, although it's already tagged that weekly level, so probably something around here, around 44 million for a higher low. I don't think you buy now because probability-wise, there's going to be a higher low somewhere. I mean, yes, it could just, but it's an older coin. Like, is that going to happen? Maybe Morad tweets about it and he says, this is my next pick, the way that he did about SPX. And we all saw what happened to SPX in one day. It reclaimed an entire fucking weekly range in one daily candle. But, it's crypto. These things are very likely from time to time. And it's good to have bullish goggles on. But I don't think you buy right now. You just wait for the higher low somewhere over here. Otherwise, you'll be coming down here. If you buy up here, you're coming down here, you're going, why did I do that? And as soon as you get down here, you're like, fuck, I'm going to cut. And then it comes here, and then you get your higher low. So, like, what do we have on lower time frame? Yeah, even on lower time frame, your H4 demand's down here. So really, you're waiting for a higher low. Wait for this high to form, and then seek out your higher low, which would probably be somewhere in here. Brainlet. It's been consolidating for a long time. Last time I analyzed this on stream, I said we had gotten a close below there. And I wonder just, is it going to come down to this level? Which it initially did give a sweep. But now you've had a daily close below that level. So does that change my analysis on this coin at all? Because you are into an area of demand, but this was your bottom of your range on daily, which it flipped. This one's a little bit tough to analyze. Why is it tough to analyze? Well, because the bottom of your daily range is within an area of demand, even though the daily trend of the range has flipped bearish, right? Like, there was the low that created the high, creating a higher high above there. Well, now you've had a close below that range. So technically in a bearish range on daily, which I'm sure people are not going to want to hear about Brainlet, but I'm just saying highlighting what I see. But why is it difficult? As I just mentioned, you're in this daily demand. I think you're fine so long as you hold this daily demand. There's a chance you might get to come back down and get a sweep of here. I mean, you don't want it. You don't really want it to come back down there because then it looks pretty weak, given that it flipped the daily trend bearish, and there is supply here. Like if I was going to outline the daily supply in this region, I mean, it tagged it exactly, right? So that is one thing I do see here, is there is a daily supply there. You want the daily to recapture this level and close above here, because then you recapture the daily trend. But like I said, you're in this massive consolidation area. Of demand, a cluster of price that sent price higher. Did that sweep or did that close below? Let's take a look here. Oh, you also had a sweep there. And a lean bullish on this. Within demand, yes, the daily structure technically is broken, but it's a little cloudy. And if I'm finding it cloudy to look at, that means that other people looking at this chart are going to be leaning bullish, I think. Like there's no clear indicator that it's lost the trend other than that swing level there. But the fact that it swept this level and held it, I think you get maybe an interim pullback like it's doing here. Maybe another sweep at that range low. You don't want to see a daily close below there, though. It would not be good. I think you just got to let this one play out, and you really want bulls to get a close above there to recapture the bullish trend. You know, just taking a look on lower time frame. I mean, you got an H1 sweep there. Don't love that. There's also an H4 sweep. Yeah, I mean, there's some signs here there are some signs of weakness on this one. Like I don't like a couple of things that I'm seeing, but then there's also counter that bullish things that I'm seeing. It's just there's a battle going on this one, and bulls really need to step in. They need to reclaim this level and then send this thing back to all-time highs. Bit of a tougher one to analyze. But it also does look like it does look like the range is tightening, right? The only thing another thing that I see here was that, but it's not a perfect meme line. But you can see as soon as it flipped, that underside tagged it. But that move is done, and it's been digested and this area well. So call your local DGen and tell them to flip bullish on Brainlet so they can push price up to here, and then it's happy days. Okay, moving along. Sync, utility play. I don't think we've looked at much utility outside of maybe one or two other coins. Okay. Analysis from previous stream. I think we were putting in this candle here. Here's your daily demand. It's tagged it a few times. Nothing's really changed off of this analysis. A couple things that I like that I see. Well, the trend, the chart is bullish, no denying. Daily bullish range, bullish structure, daily demand, tagged, sweeps of the daily level. Now you just need to see some follow through going up to here. It's also recaptured that higher high breakout level, closed above, tagged it perfectly and bounced. So you're looking for the higher low to be in here, like this to be the higher low in, and then you're looking for it to continue on. Not really much to do here in the middle. Had an H4 sweep there, which maybe it wants to come down one more time into the daily demand, but okay. So let's get rid of this because this is old. I'm just going to do something real quick. I'm going to show you guys something real quick because there is a counter signal here. On H12, you broke structure, which is a fairly significant time frame. It's still daily bullish, but H12, because that was the low that created the high, creating a higher high on H12. H12 has lost bullish trend, which is why you're seeing selling through this region, because now you've got this supply on H12. Now the higher time frame is still bullish, so it can more than easily break through this and eat away at this on the daily time frame. It's just going to take some time, which is why you're seeing selling. I mean, people that were in down here, that's a good run for them. There are a lot of them probably selling them, even from down in here. If you bought somewhere here and you got all the way up to there and it's come down a bit, well, every time it gets closer back up into there, you're thinking, okay, is this my trigger to sell because I don't want to round trip my entry? So that's just what's taking place here. But daily is still bullish. So that's just something to be aware of on H12. But daily is still bullish. And those sweeps there on daily, pretty bullish. It's just still digesting. Maybe you get one more stab down into here, but I do suspect bulls to win this battle in the long run. Not really much you can do on lower time frame right now. Yeah, I mean, with this candle sweep here, you got a sweep of that as well as this. So some warning signs are there, but daily is still bullish. I think if you get a daily close below this particular level, I'd be a little bit more concerned because then you have the H12 that's shifted structure to bearish already. But then if you start getting a daily closes down below here, I mean, you could still very well find buyers step in here before finding your higher low, but I would be a little bit more concerned of the signs of weakness if that was the case. But for now, still stick with the daily analysis. Memelord. Okay, so this one launched yesterday. How's everyone doing, by the way? Anyone have any questions? Okay. So obviously no structure there. We can outline this on H12. Here's H4. Okay, H4, we've got some structure. Here's your H4 demand. Okay, H4, we don't know that yet, that this is the top of the range, although it's looking pretty likely given it's 10 minutes till candle close, but H4, you had a higher high. There's bottom of your H4 range. This is H4 demand, as well as this higher high breakout level. So if this ends up being the swing high, you look for something in here. Go on H1. Okay. Well, H1, we're getting signals. So if you were in this, you've had some signs to, maybe sell. But then on H4, you're looking for something to come into here for a higher low. What would negate that is if you get an H1 close above this level. 10 minutes to go. It's, it's quite possible. Low market cap coin. So H1 close above there, we adjust our analysis. But at the moment, given that the H4 candle is about to close and the way that this H1 is looking with these sweeps, you're looking for something in here. Birddog. Okay. This one has quite a bit of history. So we're on weekly here. Mark out a few things. Okay. Okay, weekly on birddog is bearish. We made a lower low on weekly. Like, where does this align with? I mean, okay. Well, there's your weekly range. It's actually still within the range. It didn't close below. So weekly, you're good. You can see how this range has been important. It's a range until proven otherwise. Top of the range, bottom of the range, top of the range. We're now at the bottom of the range. Well, your thesis is, well, we're going to go back to the top of the range. What it needs to do, though, is flip this weekly supply. And then you can really be like, if you didn't buy the very bottom of the range, either you're going to get another opportunity to, if this supply acts as supply, or if it flips this bullish, then you find your higher low somewhere here. But buying right now, I don't love. But here's your weekly range. Let's drill down to daily. Yeah, it's also your daily range. Like, daily is a bearish structure. There's the top of your range. But you are getting this interim stair stepping. So maybe if you're saying to yourself, the weekly was just a bottom of the range play. So now we're looking for reasons to go long. Well, maybe, maybe this comes up into here a bit more and then finds it here, or if it flips this. But buying here, I wouldn't advise. Even though it looks strong, and yes, it did the bottom of the weekly range, you're going to see some selling, and you're going to get a higher low somewhere. But a lot of distance to go if your thesis is, let's try for the highs again, right? 16 mil from 1.6 mil. So what is that? It's a 10x on the table here. So depending on your risk tolerance and your time horizon, like say you've just got ETH sitting around, you're like, I'd rather it be in something else than an ETH. Well, then yes, you could buy here, but just be aware that you could see drawdown into this level, possibly back into the weekly level before continuing on. But your thesis is the weekly range is the range until proven otherwise. Flip this on weekly, then you have a really good signal to go long there. And nebula. Okay, let's clear this one off and see what we got. Shut off on daily. Pop down to H12. H12 had some nice sweeps there. Okay, say you see this thing on launch and you're like, I like the narrative of this. I think it's a new trading terminal that's going to be launched. So say you saw this thing launch on day one. You're like, I'd like to get on board. Where might I be looking to get on board? You're looking for those sweeps, right? You put in a key swing level. It came down and retested that level a few times now. And each time it's done that, it's gotten bought up. But okay, that is done now. So what would you now be looking for? Say you're already in this coin. What are you looking for? Well, H4, you got a higher high. When you closed above there. H4 higher high. Right, because that's the highest close H4 got. This was just a sweep, even though this is all-time high. Never got acceptance at that level. So now you're getting acceptance above that level on H4, creating a new range. One thing I'm seeing, though, is we're getting a bunch of sweeps here. Where's the bottom of your range? Bottom of your range is here. So H4. Maybe you're going to get something in here. If you get a tag into this H4 demand, given that it hasn't tagged it yet, I suspect you're going to get buyers stepping in. Right? What would change that view? Well, if you get another H4 close above this level, that would switch the analysis and we'd look for demand somewhere in here. But for now, given the sweeps, and it's never touched this H4 demand, decent chance, decent probability that you're going to get something in here. We could also be looking here to see if maybe we get a sweep of this level. Like you had it here, right? Like sweeps go long, opposite end, sweeps, look to sell. So those are some levels. Really, your risk reward would be best down in here. I'm just going to take a look quickly in the chain edge, sorry, not in the chain edge, in the AFM TG channel, affiliated with Chain Edge though. Still got 11 of you. We're just over 2 hours. I just want to see if there were any last minute requests that came in before wrapping up. Let's see what we got in here. Okay, so I do see a few. Morphware we already did. Mason, if you want to just go back to like the first, it's probably like the fifth. It was the sixth coin we looked at. Somewhere in there after those initial memes that we looked at, Morphware we looked at, you can take a look. I can pull it up real quick, take a look. Oh, look, okay, so it's come down into the H1 demand. Seeing some buying come in. Is that the bottom before, like, is that the higher low bottom before we go higher? I don't know yet. You could still come deeper into there, but just take a look. Earlier, rewind in the stream and you'll be able to find it. Okay, I see 2 more requests in the AFM TG. By the way, if anyone's looking for the AFM TG link, it's in the description or below. Let me pull this up real quick. Links in the description below. You can find links. I'll run through them real quick at the end of the stream. I just want to get these last 2 requests done. We had one come in for Bobacat, an ETH coin from 1 year ago. I don't even know that I know that one, but let's find out. PS Bobacat. And what was the other one that came in? Etheism. Okay. Okay, let's start with Bobacat. It's an old coin. A lot of chart history. What do I see immediately? Came really close to tagging that monthly swing breakout level. Look how close it came on weekly. Weekly is bullish. It came into weekly demand. This whole region here. Let's check daily now. So, I mean, daily was even, well, but what a long, since March, you've been writing that out. But it had been in bullish. Oh, we just got some H4 candle closes. It's been in bullish structure. You just had to endure a lot of that if you held that long. I hope if you rode this that you haven't been holding this long, but if you are, I mean, you've finally, it looks like you've bottomed. Now, one thing you want to see is what happens here, because you have a potential. There's an interim daily range, even within the higher time frame bullish daily range. I want to see what happens here. Like maybe this comes back to trade down here. I mean, remember, it's a weekly. You're trading on a weekly time frame here, so it could take a while to still unfold, but at the moment, you're looking pretty good. I wouldn't buy here so close to the top of that range. You either want to buy a flip of that range or somewhere back down near the bottom of the range. And the last one was etheism. It doesn't look great. I'll be honest with you right now. It doesn't look great. I think we analyzed this on the last stream, and I'm pretty sure I said if you lose, well, I had said that it was in bearish structure a while back. And it was only on hourly that we had structure. I said on the previous stream, I said, once it closed below here, you're in bearish structure, and it's just continued that downtrend. And now on higher time frame, you're just getting lower lows. Now you're consolidating here at this low, and these sweeps so far hasn't given you a fail or a break of that level. So at the moment, your thesis is you wanted to get it to trade back to the top of this H4 range. And if it closes above, then you're flipped back to bullish. But you can even see this interim range here. It's capping price. So how many more times can it sweep that before it fails? It's done it quite a few times. So, it's probably reaching the outer limit of people's patience on this one for time capitulating. But close above here, you're definitely going up here, right? I don't love it though. And something to be aware of, once it gets up here, this is supply. There's your H4 supply. So even if it closes above there, it may only be up into there before it comes back down. So ideally, your trigger would be to buy off of that because your invalidation is very clear. You haven't not have an H4 close below that level. So if you get one below there, it's done. I mean, even on fibs, we're low. We're coming pretty close to that red dead level, but we're below the 786 with supply at the 786. So there's a lot of confluent selling that would take place there. I don't like it. There's other better coins right now. What would change my mind? H4 close above there, regaining bullish structure, then you look to go long. Another sweep of that level, say, okay, let's Hail Mary this, one more chance, and maybe it goes up to there. But where it is right now, it's rough. Like people are time capitulating while they're watching other coins flying. So it's something to keep in mind. Okay, well, we've made it through 23 coins in just over 2 hours. It seems like 2 hours is about the length of these streams. Oh, it looks like I got a few more comments. David Mendez, what's going on, buddy? Moodeng, chart moodeng. Getting a lot of requests for moodeng. What's up, Uberman? We did moodeng, but let's go back to it again one more time since there are some friends requesting the chart. The analysis that we did before, earlier in the stream, one of the first coins we did. This is your H4 demand, H4 bullish market structure. You're looking for your higher low right here. Fail this, then you're looking to H12 for this fair value gap, maybe a sweep at that level. But as of right now, H4 is bullish structure, and you're looking for the higher low. Let's clear that out. You're looking for your higher low here to go higher. Looks fine. You're getting buyers step in where you want to see the buyers step in. So provided this holds, you're looking for the higher low to go back to the high and see what happens from there. Moodeng. Hopefully that supports your bullish thesis, boys. What up, boss man? Don't know if you guys know, but my buddy in the chat, Uber Mendez, what's good, buddy? Thank you so much for showing up. Appreciate the kind words, buddy. Appreciate you guys coming out. Oh, we got some of the boys from our private chat. We got Mario. We got someone's saying chart base memes. It's a little bit late into the stream now. Maybe we'll do that next time. Another request for chart floppa on base. Maybe we'll do that one. Someone said, full porting my 0.4 soul when we get confirmation. Attaboy. Says, I shouted out the channel. Big respect, my friend. Big respects. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Helps to spread the awareness of this so we can grow the channel, get more viewers, help people learn a thing or two about the way that I look at charts so that you can be buying the higher low and not buying top. Respect on that, buddy. I appreciate that. I did have one request for, so I had two base requests here. Someone said chart base memes, chomp. We're a little bit late into the stream now. Maybe if you want censored wisdom, hop into the AFM TG channel. And we can dive into it in there. I can provide a little bit more in-depth analysis. And Francisco asked for me to chart flop on base. Maybe I'll get to, okay, let's do, what do we have here? Chomp, doginme, floppa. Power naps. You're late, buddy. Did I miss the whole stream? Don't worry, man. You know it's available on recorded. You know you can catch up on it. Appreciate seeing you show up, though. You've been here for every single fucking stream, so big ups to you, buddy. I appreciate that. Okay, let's do these quickly then. Let's just run through these quickly. Why not? I got more people here on the stream. Got 28 people here. I think that's the most we've ever had left. So you know what? We got people here. Let's run it. Let's run it. Chart base memes, please. Chomp, doginme, keycat. Okay, let's go quick. And again, moodeng, you're looking for the higher low here on H4 to put in a higher high. So you're just looking for that stair step. Okay. Let's see. Chomp. Let's take a look and see what we got on Chomp. I mean, it's been a rough hold. Just hide that for now. It is in this weekly demand. This area is an area of weekly demand. You've had a couple weekly sweeps. That might have actually, no, you've had some weekly sweeps down there. Although you had a daily close below. But daily, okay, so daily is technically bullish. It's taking its sweet ass time working through this. I mean, this is base at the moment though, right? Base coins are a bit of a struggle. How would I analyze this? Like, what would I be looking for? I think, well, you're getting some stair stepping. I'd monitor to see what happens here. You don't want that to close as a sweep because then you're probably going to come back down to the bottom of this range. But you get this as a close above. You'd be looking for some sort of tag into this demand, perhaps again, as a higher low on daily to go higher. Yeah, I mean, H4 keeps putting in higher highs. It's got a lot of chart history, though, so I wouldn't really rely on H4 as much. H12, you put in a higher high above that. It's just the daily you're watching on this right now. So you get this close looking like this on daily. You look for something in here. Okay. What else was there? There was a request for doginme. Let's see, we've had a few more. Okay, let's see, we've got doginme. On base, let's take a look. Ooh, those old volume colors. Let's take a look. What do we got here? I mean, it's holding this weekly level. It's kind of, you did get a weekly close below, which I don't love to see. The base is rough, but your risk reward really doesn't get much better because you're so close to your invalidation. And at the very bottom, like, oh, you did flip daily bullish. Okay, so here we go. That's a good sign. Doginme has flipped trend daily bullish. It didn't quite come into demand, but it did tag this fair value gap in here, which is a version of demand. As anyone that's been to these streams before knows, that a large area displacement, price disbursement, and a wide range between the swing high and swing low. If there's an area where there's no trading that occurred on the other sides of that candle, then you get a fair value gap, which is where you found potential higher low. What you're looking for is what happens here. Does this close as a sweep or as a higher high? If you get this close as a higher high, we'd reanalyze for a higher low somewhere in here. But at the moment, I mean, it's looking not bad. If you manage to buy down here, you're sitting pretty. If you're looking to buy right now, I would wait to buy somewhere in here. I wouldn't be buying right this moment, but your risk reward is really good on weekly. Like, you're so close to invalidation. I think keycat is another one. Okay. I mean, it's been Chop City. There's no denying that. It's a tough one to... Base has been tough. I'm not currently bullish on base. But if ETH is going to keep putting in days of 30 Gwei, I mean, the ingredients are starting to align for base to heat up. I think what you're waiting for is if this closes above here, you've made a higher high on daily, even though it's been choppy on daily. So it's not even the best of signal, but it's what we've got to go off. So if you make a close above here on daily, you got a higher high, trend reversal, then we'll look for a higher low. But right now you're mid this candle. It's difficult to, yeah, I wouldn't try and base a trade off of anything other than daily on something like this, given how choppy even daily has been. You want the cleanest signal possible. So get that daily close above there. We'll look for a higher low somewhere in here. And I believe there was one more. Look at that. A bunch of people coming from TG. Big respect. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, buddy. I really do appreciate that. There was the last base one was Floppa. Let's get a look. Well, why did it revert to keycat? Floppa. Okay, let's take a look. I mean, there's a recurring thing that we're seeing here in all these base charts. It's just general weakness, but we're starting to get signs that it wants to go up. All right, let's take a look here. Okay, well, there was a daily level that got swept on daily. So there was a good indicator there that maybe it wants to start going up when you're getting those sweeps. When you're at the bottom of a range, especially on high time frame, your risk reward is so good that it's almost silly not to take a punt if it's a chart that you're monitoring. If it's something you're interested in, you want to buy as close to your invalidation as possible. Well, it didn't get any better than there. So what happens? What do I need to see on this? Well, if we're going to get some stair stepping, closing above that on daily would be a first sign. Something to be aware of, though, there is a lot of supply. There's a lot of supply on this coin. A lot of, and I don't mean supply. Anyone that's been here knows what I mean by supply. And not supply in the sense of a lot of coins, but a lot of supply as in people that are underwater that might be looking to sell into any sort of sign of a bounce. But anyone that's held all the way down to here is probably down for the cause. So you want to look for stair step and get a close above there on daily. Then we'll look for a higher low somewhere. I mean, I see this as supply right now. But, you know, baby steps. Start putting in some higher high closes on daily, and you're starting to look a lot better, especially if you got an entry somewhere close to here. Flip this supply, I think you're in a lot clearer air. I would look to get up to there first and then see what happens. But we do need to break through this region first. Let's take a look just quickly through the chat. What else do we got here? Got a couple more requests. Winston. What is Winston? Let's take a look. Winston, spider monkey. I'm assuming it's this. 200, almost 800K volume. Most likely this. Let's take a look. Oh, it's from today. I mean, looking bullish. You got an hourly close above that swing high. Good sign. And it's now it's retested that level and attempting to go higher. Not much to chart on this one yet. But on M15, yeah, I mean, you can see it's this level. Your M15 range is this. You want to, for continuation, you want to see M15 to start closing above here. It could even come all the way down into here for demand on M15. If you start losing this level on M15, then you start looking at, okay, where do the fibs line up with? But for now, I mean, it's looking quite bullish. And look at that, it's starting to move away from that level. What you want to see is to get a close above here. If you start getting a sweep up here, then maybe it's going to come down here. So sweeps of this level, maybe sign to get out, close above this level, sign of continuation. Or if it pauses here and comes into this demand, this is also an area for buying. Beyond that, not much to do here except let it unfold. Oh, wow. Getting all kinds of requests coming in. Beautiful. Okay. What do we have here? What is that? Benji. Is that another base coin? I have a feeling looking at it, it's probably going to be similar to the other base plays. Where maybe they're starting to wake up. Okay. Well, weekly demand. Weekly structure is bullish. There's your weekly demand. What you're looking for, I mean, look at that. You even got a daily sweep down there. Good indicator that you were bottoming. I mean, it did close below that level, but it's moved off it quite well. I mean, from here, you're just looking for where does the higher low form. And I would suspect you're going to get a higher low somewhere in here. Not much to do right now. Okay. D MAGA on Sol. Let's take a look. Dark MAGA. Okay. Is this, I'm not sure if this is the right one that I'm looking at. I do remember the lore around this one though. When Elon changed his profile picture, this popped off quite a bit. It's not looking great, but what he did have was that sweep there. It's got a lot of work to do though. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There's your daily bearish range. If it can hold this level though, your thesis is at least back to there and see what happens, but it has a lot of work to do. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but it looks rough. But if it can recapture this level, maybe you've got something to work off there. Mario, I just did Winston. Rewind real quick. And Chris said, yes, that was the right DMAGA. Okay. Someone requested Joe. Let's take a look real quick. So, oh, did I do this one earlier today? No, didn't do this one earlier today, but Joe is bullish. I mean, look, you're getting the stair stepping. It flipped the trend daily, bullish, tag demand, keeps going. So where are we at now? Well, daily bullish close there. And it recaptured a weekly level. I mean, this looks really good here. If I'm looking for somewhere to buy on this, I think coming back down into that weekly level around 9.5 mil is a good area. If it starts coming lower and losing that weekly level, it doesn't look as great. The bottom of the daily range is all the way down here though. So, you know, it could potentially come back down to here for a higher low, but it's had so much disbursement. Like, there's another interim there, demand. But I think it's this weekly level. As you can see, as soon as you got a daily close above there, it retagged it and then popped quite a bit. So if you start losing this level, it's not great. So it's a pretty good invalidation, because loses that, then you could come all the way back down here before finding a higher low. But so far, this higher high break is acting as support now too. Looks good. I mean, Joe looks great. A lot of these ETH coins look fantastic. Let's see. Intex on ETH. Utility play that launched recently. Let's take a quick look. Okay, let's clear this up. Let's go daily. Let's see what we got on daily. Okay, here's your daily demand. Swept that level once. You're just looking for follow through to come through on here, because here's your daily range. Here's where it marked a higher high. There's your daily range. It's just consolidating a lot after this big move up. Had a sweep of this level with some follow through, but then it's come back down. So maybe if you get another sweep of that, you look to go long and you're in validation on daily as it close below there. Okay. Getting a few more. Someone's asking for Moo on Solana. Moo the bull. Let's take a look. Okay, so I had analyzed this one a while back. When it closed below there on daily, it did make a daily bearish range, which you can see it's actually been respecting that range quite well. Right? It made this daily bearish range when it closed below the daily range, the previous daily range, making bearish structure, but now it's just been trading this daily range, this current daily range, right? Like ran the top, came down to the bottom. Like this is the epitome of trading a range, right? It's a range until proven otherwise. Well, there you go. Now, if this gets another sweep of that top of the range, maybe it's going to come back down here. You get a daily close above there, then we regain bullish structure and we can, look for a new daily range to go higher. But at the moment, it's trading this daily range. It does have, there's quite a bit of supply. Supply meaning underwater bag holders, the people that bought this that are now underwater. So something you need to be aware of. But if you just flip this trend back to bullish on daily, then it's game on. For the moment, it potentially can come back down here. You want to see bulls flip this daily level right here. Let's take a quick look through here. Did Moo, did D-Maga, did Winston. Okay. Let's see here. Is asking for FTM and say, and I have one request for Genus. Okay, let's do Genus real quick first, just because it's a deck screener coin, and then the other ones I got to pop over to TradingView. Genus. Genus is interesting because it's been popping up as quite a bit of buying on ChainEdge recently. There was that exploit, quotation marks, that occurred there. It still has good liquidity, which is why you see people keep trading it. But here's your range, right? Like, it's a very clear daily range, and you're getting really close to the top of it. I don't know if they've still been building or whatnot, just based off of this chart. Like, it's a lot of accumulation. People have clearly been buying. You really want to see this level get a close above on daily, because I don't love that we've had this. We had this sweep yesterday. So are we nearing the top of this range and it wants to come back to the bottom? I don't know. It's tough to say. But it does look like people have been accumulating for a long time. Okay, FTM and say, and then we're going to wrap it up on the requests. I'll get those in for you real quick. I think we've got through all of the requests on the side there, which is awesome. Let me just pull up my trading view. And we're going to take a quick look at FTM and say, okay, so we'll pull up say here. So what do I see? I'm pretty sure that was a weekly level that it came into. Yeah, weekly demand. Right on the 786 of that, actually. Well, That actually goes up to there. But you know what? I don't love fibs on these. That's old analysis. But look, I did this analysis a long time ago and it's still standing. So on daily, what do we have here? You got to close above this area here. And you had this demand. Which has acted as support. What you're looking for now, because this is your current daily range, is you're wondering what's going to happen up here. There's your daily range. It's within a bearish daily range, but you've had this interim range that's occurred. So you're looking for it to get up into here. I think because you're probably leverage trading this on shorter time frames, like let's take a look lower time frame. So I mean, H4 is bullish. I think it could potentially come down into here. But given the strength of the market right now, like with BTC pumping away, like we'd need a significant sell-off. Not like a massive sell-off, but we need a correction to occur on daily. Then I think you'd be looking in here on say. But at the moment, I mean, you've got your range. I mean, it's a massive H4 range. Look at those candles. It's a little overextended though, right? Like, how much more does it have in it at this moment before some sort of temporary correction? I don't know. I just want to see, do we have some sort of, okay. So I see that it didn't quite sweep that. So here's your current H1 range. You want to see H1 get it back above here, because if it's, I mean, if you're in this trade, you want it to get up to here. Otherwise, you could start seeing like a couple of things that I'd look for was maybe you get an H1 sweep of this level. But really, you want to start getting an H1 close above here. Again, my primary specialty is on on-chain shitters and less so on majors, but the analysis applies. It's just there's a lot more fuckery that occurs with market makers and whatnot for sex pairs of guys looking to stop you out. Like, you know, there's people who have a stop right here. So do market makers want to bring it down here to test what's here and liquidate people? And vice versa of that, there's people that short it up here. So do market makers want to bring it up here first before bringing it down? It's sort of in the middle of this range, could go either way, but the chart itself is bullish as fuck. It just depends on where your entry was. And what was the other one? Was FTM. Okay, I don't even think I have an FTM chart here. Let's pull up FTM. Sonic coming out real soon. Okay, Binance spot. No, we want the perps pair. I want FTM USDT. There we go. No, that's still spot. Where's the perps pair? I'm not seeing it, so let's just go spot. Okay. Hourly is starting to look a little bit weak. You lost that hourly level, which then you've come up into this hourly supply, rejecting off of. And then, yeah, you've made two lower lows on hourly. What you want to see is a close above this to regain bullish structure. But there's your current hourly range, is right there. So Phantom's, like you can notice, this is weaker than say looked. There's your overhead supply. It's swept this level a few times and rejected off there. So you're going to want to see what happens down here. If this ends up as a sweep, maybe that's a trigger for it to go long again. Given all these sweeps up here, I think probability-wise it's coming down here. What would change that is if you get an hourly close back up above here, but just keep in mind that you do have this hourly supply. Phantom does look a little bit more cooked than say. Say looks like still quite bullish, but it's consolidating after a large run up. Like, you know, we've had a massive green day today. Do we see some selling later tonight into the Asian session or into tomorrow morning? Perhaps. So just something to be aware of. But if we go to daily, I mean, daily on this looks great. Daily on this looks really great. Like, I'm just trying to take a look and see. Yeah, I mean, we keep printing higher highs. So maybe on daily, you're going to get something into here. No, that's wrong tool. Maybe on daily, you're going to get something into here. For a higher low, but I mean, look at all these levels you've closed above. Oh, that was a sweep. Okay, so there was a sweep there, but there was a close above. Okay, so actually, what you're looking at right now is this breaker. That's where I'd be looking for a higher low. I'd be looking for a higher low in here on daily. Now, I'm pretty sure you're looking. I'm pretty sure you're looking more at short-term trades on this, on leverage. So the daily doesn't necessarily help you right now. But if you're saying, okay, once this does make a higher low somewhere, where would I be looking to put the trade on again, given its outperformance against the market, would be somewhere in here. I mean, H4 is bullish. It's really just H1 that you're getting that weakness. Okay. We've had one more. Actually, no. Looking at a 3 to 4 week trade. Okay, so then on Phantom, you'd be looking for your daily higher low somewhere in here. But it depends on where your entry was, right? Because you have flipped that level. And so now this breaker is an area of demand. It's just, where does it find that higher low? And how we would find that is by watching lower time frames. And given that H1 has broken structure, there's a higher probability that it's at least going to retest this. Could come down further into here. So then you look for the high time frame fractal to start playing out on lower time frames. So you get a higher high on, say, like H1 or M15, then there's your trigger to go long again. Yeah, that's useless. I mean, M15 on a sex pair with that much chart history is really only scalping. So I'd be looking at H1 for your triggers. So it's done sweeps up here. High probability it's going to come down into here. But if you get a sweep of this level within this breaker, an hourly sweep with sweep being you sweep it and close above, there's your trigger, with your stop being just below the bottom of that sweep. Right now, though, you're kind of waiting for what it feels like it wants to come down here. Feels like it wants to come down here to see if you're going to get a sweep or what's going to happen. Hopefully that answers. And you can always ask me in the GC too, my friend. All right, thanks, buddy. I appreciate you driving some attention to the channel and coming out, showing some love. We've got one more request for look on Sol. We'll take a look at that, and then we'll be done. Let's take a look. I'm assuming this is the look that you're looking for. Gianni, what is up here? What is going on? Okay, so daily had broken this low. Actually, it was an H12. Yeah. H12 had made a lower low. And in fact, made another lower low. So here's your H12 range right now. It's a bearish H12 range that's come up into supply and has sold off a few times. Why is that your H12? Why is H12 bearish? Well, because you've made lower lows. What would change that is if you get an H12 close above the range here, and then you'd flip back to bullish on H12. So two things you could look for to enter this trade would be a sweep of this level here to go long with looking to get back to the top of the range and hoping for it to higher high here and continue on. Or you get a close above this on H12, and then you look for your higher low somewhere here to go long. But right now, you're kind of right in the middle of the range. It could go either way. So I wouldn't buy here. Okay. Well, I believe that is everyone. Let's pull up some of these things. Let's remove this. Again, I want to thank everyone for showing up. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you enjoy what we're doing here, trying to grow the channel. And the only way to do that is with support of you guys by spreading the word and sharing the love. This has been Astrology for Men. I am 0xRapture, brought to you by The Daily Edge, thedailyedge.com/subscribe for our daily newsletter delivered straight to your inbox for free with a recap of the previous day on-chain, backed with on-chain analytical data to support that information, written by the one and only legendary on-chain wizard, a good buddy of mine, and the founder of ChainEdge, our other sponsor, chainedge.io. Again, all links and descriptions can be found below. So go check them out, where you can find links to our X accounts, the Telegrams, both for the Daily Edge, which is just a hub for all of our information, or the Astrology for Men Telegram group, which is a group of people looking to learn how to chart, asking for analysis, sharing opinions, chatting. It's open to anyone, and we're there chatting it up. You can also find links for chainedge.io. There's a discount ref code in there as well for 10% off your lifetime subscription. Regardless of whether you subscribe monthly, quarterly, or yearly, you will get 10% off of your subscription if you use the code in the description below. As well, if you enjoyed the show and want to support in some way, you can always use my BullXRef link. It's not an official endorsement or an official affiliation, should I say. I'm not paid by BullX, but if you use my ref link, you get 10% off your trading fees, and I do get a small kickback from those ref links. So if you want to support the show, it's a good way to do that. If you're looking for a new trading terminal, it's a good, solid option with really great features that you don't find anywhere else. Again, my name is 0xRapture, or here's that code for ChainEdge as well. It's a little bit easier if you get it from the description because you can copy it, because I don't know if that's a 0 or an O or what's going on there. So check it out from the links below the description. I want to thank everyone that showed up. Appreciate each and every one of you. And for all the requests, this has been a great one. A lot of activity today. And on that, we'll ride out with a little bit of music, as always. 0xRapture, signing off.